report from the session?
Yeah, it was really good to have the older guys back. Obviously, the younger kids have been going at it for a couple of weeks, but the 5+ year has started today, and they were fantastic. So a really good start. The players that all came in and trained, and some did the 3K, were in great nick. So a really good start.
Canterbury winning that 3K?
Yeah, he was in fantastic condition. I mean, to consider that he was, he had a really bad knee injury coming out of the grand final, and his off season was hampered because of that, and his recovery was certainly affected because of that. To bounce back, so he's only been going for a few weeks and run as well as he did is a real credit to him. He's a real pro.
So how much time did he have off? Did he have any surgery or and how much?
No, he didn't have any surgery, but he would have not run for a month, and obviously that affected his off season. But he knows how to prepare, and he certainly can only look at his performance today. He was fantastic.
Is anybody actually not training at the moment because of recuperation from off-season work?
Yeah, there's still a number of players that aren't training. They're all running, which is good. So Parker is still getting over his injury that he received in the prelim final. So the posterior cruciate, he's taking a little bit long with that. The two shoulder guys, so Naismith and Franklin, they were running. They did their running sessions today, but they shouldn't be far away around Christmas time. Certainly January, they should be back into the ball work. So there's just a few little niggles here and there, but you get that sorted out before Christmas, and then most of the squatters should be right post-Christmas.
Have you reviewed the grand final? When do you bring it up? Do you want to get it out of the way, or how do you approach that throughout the off-season?
No, we did that the week after. So we addressed it the week after, talked about it, and then you move on. I mean, it's the footy clubs and the footy competition itself moves on really quickly. So you get going really quickly, and we've got 9 new players turned up today. We've got I think the 4th youngest list in the competition. It's really exciting seeing the kids start their AFL careers, and they were really excited to be able to train with the older blokes today. So you move on pretty quickly.
So from your end, it doesn't get brought up again, really?
Oh, we addressed it the week after the grand final. So there's only so many times you can address it and review it, and you need to get moving pretty quickly.
Did you learn anything from sort of 2014 and the way you processed it then compared to this year, and did you do it differently? Did you sit them down and watch the game?
No, we did. You do things a little bit differently according to the situation. You make sure you have some flexibility with that. We sat down and watched the areas we needed to. With less than 10 minutes to go, there was a point in it, and you need to make sure that we understood that, what we did well, what we could have done better. But you put it behind you pretty quickly. I mean, we're really excited by the atmosphere of training today. The boys turned up and they're up and about, and they're really looking forward to the season ahead.
John, how big a blow is it to lose someone like Tom Mitchell, who had become one of your prime movers in the midfield last year?
Look, he has been a really good player for us, Tommy. There's no question about that. He's an important player for us. But in the end, we knew we've got Heaney coming through and Mills coming through, and young kids like Jordan Foote, who ran really well today, all pushing for midfield spots and playing through that area of the ground. So we're really confident that we've got the players to be able to come into that role and keep evolving our list like we did last year. We had 7 debutants last year, and I'm sure there'll be a number of new players this year, and those opportunities will open up, and it's about who grabs them.
Heaney and Mills came to the club as midfielders. Are we likely to see them more in on-ball roles this year?
Yeah, look, you saw that as the season progressed with Heaney in particular, playing a bit more midfield. He certainly, the back end of the year, played more midfield. Mills was part need, part teaching last year, playing at half-back, and just took to it unbelievably well. So we know, with Isaac he can play midfield forward, and we certainly know with Mills he can play midfield back. So those roles and that flexibility in our team we think is going to be really important.
You used to start a month behind other teams again. Having been in a few grand finals now, do you know sort of how to make up for that lost time? Have you learned anything?
I hope every year we start a month behind everyone else because obviously you've gone deep into the season. So that's right, it's 5 weeks including the bye. So you do start late. We only get them for 3 weeks before Christmas, so you really introduce yourself and then say Happy Christmas to them. So it's a really short period just before Christmas, 3-4 weeks. But we're really confident in our professionalism of our playing group. They usually come back in really good condition, and they've done the same again this year. So they know what it's about, and it's not a bad problem to have.
How hard can you work them that kind of 3 weeks leading up to Christmas?
Really, it's about establishing everyone's fitness and making sure they're in the routine for Christmas. So when they start training in January, that you can do a lot of your team-orientated stuff then. I mean, we're still doing some of the team-orientated stuff now, but you're really making sure that you're fine-tuning your playing list as individual programs to make sure the final week before Christmas or the first week after Christmas that you're in the best possible shape as a team, and that's our aim, to get that platform and foundation right this time of the year.
Have you had
a
any?
draft again, John?
Yep.
You must be excited to have you had a pretty high pick for probably the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
You're confident these guys can do what the guys did last year that you brought in?
Look, we'll have to wait and see. Everyone's different. We had no idea this time last year that Tom Papley would come in and play as well as what he did and have a big impact in the finals. We had no idea about that. So we don't really say whether they can or can't play. We'll just see how it unfolds. And what we do know is that they've got some really experienced, quality teachers around them in regards to the senior group, and they can pick things up pretty quickly. And we've been really pleased with how they've gone so far. Some are more advanced than others, but the pre-Christmas period is making sure that they all get used to the program and get used to what AFL footy's about.
With young Florent there, what are the qualities that made him your first pick? What attracted you to him?
Oh, his ability to run and carry. He's a very good decision maker. He's the vision that we saw, and Kinnear and Michael Agresta are very good at identifying the areas and the players that we look at, and who can bring those qualities to the team. And his ability to run and carry was probably the things that really stood out.
John, we've seen this off-season talks break down with the collective bargaining agreement. Has it created any issues for you over the off-season in terms of trying to organise your list, not really knowing the salary cap and things like that?
Not so much issues for me, certainly issues for most of the football managers. The general managers at the football clubs would be certainly working a little bit as far as not quite sure. They've been given guidelines through the AFL, but they're not quite sure, so it does have a bit of an impact from their point of view. I don't get involved too much in the salary cap, thank goodness, so it doesn't affect me, but you'd expect them to sort it out pretty quickly.
Do you support the push for a fixed percentage for the players?
Oh, look, I'll let them sort that out. I support a push to make sure that we've got a good team in the park. That's what I'm about.
You kind of successfully manufactured a couple of forwards last year in George Hewitt and Xavier Richards. And with Xavier gone, do you look at again at trying to manufacture someone, or is there someone coming through the ranks as a specialist forward that might get a go?
Well, we're hopeful that we've got someone coming through the ranks in the name of Sam Reid, who we're really confident he's come back in great nick and trained today and has done absolutely everything. So he looks fantastic. So when you look at the grand final last year, Sam didn't play and Aaliyah didn't play, and we've got a couple of really handy key position type players that we'd like to get into the senior team as soon as we can. And I'm sure some of those younger players that we drafted this year, but also some of the kids that haven't had much of an opportunity last year, can add to what George Hewitt did, what Tom Papley did in our front half, and try and contribute.
You spoke about analysing the grand final and getting out out of it what you needed to get out of the game. Did you come up with some answers about where you fell short and what you need to do this season to go and better?
Yeah, there's always lots of little things. And if you win, there's things that come out of it that you need to get better at. Look, we were stoked that we were able to play some really competitive football with the younger players we were able to introduce. We certainly need to play better in the last 20 minutes than what we did. We're in front at half time, so all those things you take out of it. But in the end, we probably need to make sure we attack them a little bit more with the ball, and that's probably one of the themes that come out of that grand final. And we usually are and have been throughout the year really good at that. We just weren't quite as sharp as what we'd like to be.
You lost a few close ones last year. Is that a focus in the pre-season and is going into the season?
Look, it always is. I mean, we finished on top of the ladder, so it wasn't a bad season, and we've got to take some positives out of that. So we will.
At this stage, with all the recuperating guys, would you anticipate everybody should be right for the start of the pre-season, the NAB Cup, NAB Challenge, whatever they call it?
I'm not sure about the start of the pre-season. That's the 19th of Feb, but we'd expect everyone to be right for the start of the season. So, and that obviously means that they've had a couple of weeks prior to that in games. So that'll start to evolve when we get back in January. Some of the blokes that are a little bit behind in their schedule, but most of them, as we saw today, are in pretty good nick. So it's just a few that are getting over those little niggles at the end of the year that'll be a bit slower, but that usually happens most years anyway.
Sean Edwards is an interesting one. Had a couple of goes now. What did you guys see in him that you've obviously had great? You've been able to turn over some recycled players, turn them into stars. Do you think you can do the same again?
Well, we certainly hope so. He gives us, he's had a go at GWS and Essendon, and for various reasons that hasn't worked out. And we thought that going into the rookie draft with his attributes, he can run really well. He's got some great speed, some great power. He's 190 centimetres, can mark it. So he gives us some of that outside, whether through wing and half back, that run that can really add to the team, and that's what we're hoping he gives us. He's obviously here on a rookie contract, but we're really pleased he's here, and we look at his upside and what he can deliver rather than what he can't, and we think that what he can deliver to us is a really valuable role in our senior team, and hopefully gets used to the program over the summer months and can really establish himself like others have been able to do.